All right, welcome to Stunt Talk. I am Jessica Vivian, as usual, your host, and today I have Wendy Gutierrez with me. Hi,
Yes.
Wendy.
Hi.
Wendy is a stunt woman who is based out of Atlanta and New York. So it's really interesting because before we had somebody Texas, New York 50-50. So it'll be really
Ooh.
interesting to see what it's like between Atlanta and New York, since Atlanta is a way bigger market than Texas, way bigger market. Um, and when they get to be in some pretty cool stuff, partially probably also so a lot of the superhero stuff because you're in
Mhm.
Atlanta. So I'm sure we're going to hear a lot about that. So it's like
Yeah.
all the credits include like Thor, Shazam. You were in 688 and TV shows like Law and Order SVU, Blind Spot. I really like that show. Elementary, Manifest, and then, as I said, lots of DC and Marvel. And that was actually
Mhm.
one of our first discussion points too when we first met. But we're going into that. So welcome
Okay.
to Stunt Talk.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And you're currently in Atlanta.
I am, yes.
Cool, 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 cool. Well, Wendy and I met, must be just about a year and a half ago, the weekend before one of the most horrible hurricanes have happened down here on the
That
Gulf
is true.
Coast. For driving training at Bobby Orr's in Sebring. And it was interesting because we had a really sunny day and then we had a very, of course, super rainy, slippery day.
Yes, which was fun too.
Oh,
You
it was
had a
super
taste
fun.
of all the elements.
And your first kind of like hidden away. And then I was like, who's this other person that's over there? So Wendy sometimes comes to Sebring and helps out and assists, which was super cool because my class was really small. And I got to drive with all of you. And it was so cool. I remember one time I got so frustrated. You're like, just like yank it. I see you're strong enough. Just yank that wheel.
Yes. Yeah, and that reverse 180 is like just freaking yank it, just go for it. Get mad at it.
So mad. I did last episode, was it Brett Smurs was on there. So as like a stunt driver, I was like, all right. So the one thing, it just absolutely didn't happen. The reverse 180. Walk me through it one more time.
Like, how exactly does that work? Yes.
But it's so cool because you've done like tons of driving training before, and then you just kind of got hooked, it looks like, and really,
Yeah.
really with Bobby's. And that's so sweet because Bobby is so sweet.
Bobby is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In his own little way. He's amazing. Yeah.
Uh, well, let's see. When we met, I was like, oh man, I had auditioned for this actor girl out in the Chicago area, and I think I figured it out. It was like Superman, and you were like, oh, I've done with a bunch of people on that. I was like, ah,
Yeah, yeah. We shot under Superman. Yeah, Superman shot over here and somewhere else though, but I did the part when they were out here in Atlanta. Yeah.
yeah. So cool. They used like the project name and everything, but some of the stuff it was just like I love like the DC universe. So I just
Oh
kind of put
yeah.
the pieces together and I was like, I'm pretty
Mm.
sure that's
Like I think that's the one. Yes.
uh do you enjoy superhero movies? Or do you have like a favorite genre that you kind of like doing?
I do enjoy watching them. I just don't like if you tell me which one is who and what is happening chronologically type of thing and how does this work, I would not be able to tell you. I just watch it because it's fun to watch. But most of the time I don't know who I'm watching. Am I watching DC? Am I watching the I'm like I don't know. I
Well,
just
that
think it's
one
a
I
whole
do
bunch
know,
of
but the storylines they do change all the time, and there's like
yeah.
no consistency and when it is, and then they change the actors. So I'm just in for the ride as well. That's
Yeah, my son gets freaking mad and he just looks at me sideways because sometimes I'm talking about Superman or Daredevil and I'm like, "Oh, he's Marvel." He just looks at like, "Really though?" He's like, "Come on." I was like, "You worked it." I was like, "I don't know. They're all superheroes." 'Cause at
which
some
is
point they
so
all
funny
come
for
together.
nerds. Yeah, you're just like, I
Yeah.
would love to be in this, and you're like, I had fun doing it, but
Yeah, it's like it was fun. I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." It's like Shazam. I'm like, I don't know which side is he, and I don't know. Is it DC? Is it I have? I'm like, I don't know. I just know who Shazam is and that he's really fast.
Well, it's so funny because yes, yes, and which always brings me to my favorite, also like besides Superman, like the Flash, who is also super super fast.
Hmm.
But you're like on the DC universe wiki, which is really really funny because it has like a lot of Marvel stuff on it. It's like they just like put everything together.
Yeah, yeah, it gets really confusing for me. And yeah, people just they marvel at the fact that like, what do you mean you don't know the storyline? And because some people are very like they know and they come from the what are the comic books, so they're very
Hmm.
like they know their stuff. I'm like, oh man, you're talking to the wrong individual. I just worked in it. I don't know.
Do you like sometimes go to any kind of conventions in that sense, either interest or people are like, hey, you doubled this person, would you like to come? Do you do any of those kinds of things?
No, I've never, no,
Because I
never
always
been.
wondered because we were like the unsung heroes as like the stunt people, if
Right.
anybody does.
I do have a few friends that do that, that go to their to those conventions and are part of sometimes because they're doubling somebody or they just work the whole time there. So but they're into the universe too, like they
Mm.
really know their stuff. And I was like, ah, listen, I don't know. I just work there. Yeah.
But then you said because you have a son, it's like so sweet. That for me is like one of the biggest things because I always get excited, but my son and I get excited about films and all kinds of stuff. So I'm always,
Hmm.
I just like, I mean, I could never like go somewhere and keep a total secret unless it was a secret, of course, NDA, of course, but
Oh, right, right.
of what it is, like to wait and then just go to the movies and be like, I did that stunt right there. It was me.
That was me. Exactly. Oh yeah. No, most of the time is he's watching either a show or something and then he's loving the show and then there's a scene where he sees me or sees he sees me and then he sees the stunt team. He's like, "Oh, it ruined it because now I know that something is actually going to happen. I see the whole stunt team."
Already
Yeah, it's
recognizes
like
everyone.
right, he recognizes it. He's like, "Oh, obviously something is about to happen. You have all the stunt guys and all the stunt women there." It's like, "Okay." I'm like, "Hey, man."
Oh, but that's so
So
funny.
yeah.
Just so aware. It was just like clocking someone, and you know the action's gonna like before the music will give it away.
Right, exactly. You're kind of like, "Oh, wow." And then, he's left in a cliffhanger and then he comes back to the show and then he sees the whole stunt team. He's like, "Oh, I know what's about to happen."
But so fun though, because you know, like, all right, hopefully have all my popcorn ready because it's about, especially the whole stunt team, like something big.
Yeah. It's about to happen, guys. Let me just sit back and watch you guys. See the reactions of everyone. Yeah.
That's actually like a super good segue into it, the stunt team and being part of a team and all the people that are
Hmm.
there. I always like to start because, of course, everybody's story is very different. What is your,
Hmm.
especially superhero themed in that sense? What's your origin story?
From
How
superhero?
well? How did you get started in stunts?
Oh, I see. Mine was very interesting because my brother was already a stunt guy. He used to work for the Power Rangers.
You
So,
told me.
yeah, and we were living in LA at that time, and he used to bring me to the set all the time. So I was in the Power Rangers set all the time. Um, And I used to train with them. It was fun and it was great, but I've never really envisioned myself as a stunt person because to me, those stunt guys, like, and the stunt women, I mean, they're top notch. I'm like, oh man, like I know martial arts, but those guys are just amazing. Um, and then my brother kind of brought me in as an extra. And I had the most fun I've ever had because it was an action little piece that I was in where they were throwing all the smoke and all of these things were happening. I was like, oh my God, this is so much fun. And so I got my vouchers from them. And then I just went to Roberto Lopez, who's one of the main riggers in New York. He brought me, I already had trained with him because he's my brother's friend. And uh, he brought me to the set of Orange is the New Black. And I met the
Ah, yeah.
coordinator there. And he just asked me, he's like, hey, are you available this day? And I was like, yeah.
What did you get to do then? Like, what was that first thing you got to do on Orange is the New
I
Black? Like,
actually doubled one of the main girls there. It was very intimidating for me because though I was familiar with sets, um, that was my first time being by myself and actually working on a set. And I just kept myself kind of like not too far from the coordinator, but close enough just in case he needs me or the mats need to be moved or anything. Because that's some things that I learned from being on the Power Ranger set, just kind of being attentive in that sense. But I was scared because I was by myself. That time I had my brother um on the phone kind of when I was arriving to set. I was like, he was the one telling me like, okay, look for somebody who has like a walkie on him, ask them, tell him that you're there for stunts. Like he walked me through the whole thing. I was like, he's like, now
Oh,
find the coordinator. I was like, okay. Yeah, so it was pretty cool. And then that was it. After that, it just kind of the word went out, you know, where you work great and he keeps hiring you and then you start hustling other coordinators and so forth. So that was what started.
that's so cool. So when you said you trained with your brother and all of them before, so was a lot of their training fighting for film training, or did they like all of the skills that you kind of need to do all the roles and
Yeah,
like
all the
hits
skills. It
and
was just very we did a lot of falls. They did a lot of trampoline there.
oh,
So I kind of took it as just fun. I never intentionally like was just training, okay, I'm training to be a stunt performer. I was just there. They're like, "Oh, Wendy, can you do this?" I was like, "I'll try it." And it was like, "Oh, do it this way and try it this way and fall this way." And it was just fun for me. Um, but yeah, that was kind of my training, you can say. I was playing with them basically with the mats.
that's like the
And
best way to learn. Did you have a
yeah,
favorite Power Ranger though while you were kind of on
no,
set?
I mean they were all the guys. I mean, well, I think it was there was one of them. I think he's either the yellow one or the Pink Ranger. He knew how to flip like there's no tomorrow. He was flipping from every wall you can name, and I used to be in awe every time I used to see him, and it was amazing to see to see them live and the way they trained and how they performed on set. Ridiculous. It's crazy. Yeah.
That's so wild. So for you, I can imagine, like you said, and then you go onto a set all by yourself and not just like for, oh, you're just going to do a gag, but you're actually doubling someone. So
Yeah.
really leaning on the trust of, oh, your brother's sister and that
Mhm.
is like a word, but that probably is like a lot of extra pressure. Then you don't want to let anyone down. Oh my
Right,
God.
exactly. You know, I don't want to do a bad job. I don't want to let anyone down. And, you know, learning the lingo of set it was different from the one in LA with the Power Rangers. And yeah, it was just hard. I was just kind of like, you know what, I'm just gonna stick to the basic. I'm gonna be near the coordinator, you know, at least in his eye reference and whatever the and my actors needed, it's like, what do you need? You need pads or whatever, and just kind of stay back just enough, you know, where I'm just not stepping any toes or anything. It was interesting. But yeah, but you know, I mean, I grew up already knowing martial arts, not well, not knowing, but my brother had taught me a lot of martial arts. I grew up doing karate and kung fu and all that stuff. So martial arts was always in me, and I did it since I was a little girl. It was just more of the training for movies and falling and doing all that stuff that was brand new to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's like super impressive. So when you now book a job, is it just like anything really across the board, or are there like specific things that people are like, oh, let's call Wendy for that? Is there anything kind of
Mm.
like that, or like things you book the
Mostly
most?
I think mostly it will be fighting, wire work, ground pounding, because I don't know how they call it now, but before we used to have like we had people or a group of people that were just amazing ground pounders. Like they knew how to hit that ground over and over, and it looked gnarly. It's like, and you knew it's like, dude, you want somebody to look nasty, you got to hire that person. So, you know, we did those, we did the ground pounding, but that's what I do. I do that. Wire work, fighting. Those are the main ones that I find myself. And then obviously the sprinkle ones that are for driving.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Hmm.
I can totally see that. Oh, that's amazing. So, with all of that, do you still have to keep up a lot of the skills? Is there something that, like a training routine that you have when you know you're not working right now that you usually
Oh,
follow?
yeah, no, absolutely. I have my own trainer that trains me specifically for the movement that I usually do. So basically, you know, he knows what I do, and we perform And we train in a way that it will just emphasize or maintain, where I won't get hurt, at
Hmm.
least performing. Um, and yeah, most of the time I have mats here, and you just kind of roll. You don't have to always go really hard. You just kind of roll and do your things, just kind of like, let your body just have that memory, like, okay, it's still there.
I totally
Yeah.
get it. I totally get it. So when you train with someone, is it then like a personal trainer, or is it like specific like a gymnastics kind of coach, or is it like an all-around somebody who just works on your body?
No, yeah, yeah, he's a sports trainer. So he's
Hmm.
very, yeah, he trains the baseball players, he trains football players, he trains volleyball players, and I'm the stunt performer, so he kind of saw and I showed him a lot of the things that I've done, and he's like, "Oh, I know exactly what you will need," and he's amazing. Yeah,
Oh,
like we do every exercise and we tailor it to make sure that I'm going to be using that exercise because let's say I'm doing a butterfly twist or I'm doing all of these kicks, it's like that will, either make it better or, just strengthen that side.
so strength is also like mobility, flexibility stuff in
Yeah.
it too. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that is so crazy that you said
Yeah.
it, because I have literally over the past 6 months been thinking, I was like, I really don't even know. I really want one-on-one somebody too that really
Mm-hmm.
works on some of the stuff, because everyone is so unique in their strengths
Right.
and weaknesses and the time that you have and all of the stuff. And sometimes you go to group classes and they just can't really see everything that you
Correct.
do. But then I'm looking for gymnastics, and most of them won't do adult gymnastics. But then I've
I
tried to one
know.
side. Yeah, I don't understand
So
why.
like I don't mind playing with the little kids. Just put me on the side. It's like we'll be doing handstands together. What's it? Or something. But yeah, they don't have adults gymnastics. It's not cool.
It really isn't. Like the closest really is like at jam when they have like, hey, right now we have
Oh
like a
yeah.
beginner tumbling or something, but it would
Yeah.
just be nice, like how kids have it just ongoing, or like your
Correct.
martial
Yeah.
arts training, you go in and today
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna do a bunch of rolls and work on our cartwheels and aerials, and it would just
Yeah.
be so nice.
Yeah, it's like you have a routine and you have something that you feel like, okay, I need to get better at this. So when you go over there, I'm gonna practice this. And then you see yourself getting better and better. But yeah, we don't have it. It's like, oh, come on.
Really
Yeah.
something to maybe scream out louder. I was thinking one day when I go to trampoline park, a lot of times you'll see like some girl that's like coaching a little girl. And I would
Hmm.
just want to like one day go up and be like, psst, psst, what's your
Yeah.
number? Can we meet tomorrow here? Can you teach me how to do that?
Exactly. This exact same thing you're teaching that 5-year-old. Can you teach it to me? Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, most of the
Uh,
time, the one that I found here a few years ago, it was I just go to the open mat and I just get into a little corner and then just I'm fortunate to have friends that I can ask them like, hey, look at what I'm doing. Can you correct me from this? And then, they like, okay, do it this way or do it that way. And especially when I'm in New York. When I'm in New York, it's way better because I would just call them, be like, listen, let's meet me at the gym. I need to get this. And they're amazing. They come down and they help you out.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, especially
Yeah.
to have the community. A lot of times, yeah, when I go out for the things I train, that's outside of the regular stunt classes where we have the little bit of like a curriculum, but as a group.
Hmm.
But then I just film it. But then, I mean, I can only correct it to how I think why something's maybe not working. But like,
Hmm.
just like how you guys, for example, I loved how you and Amy and Bobby taught, because you create awareness around, like it could just be the wrist a little bit, maybe just a couple
Yeah.
inches here or there, and creating the
Hmm.
awareness. So next time you're just like, what you do wrong, and then it was laughing, I'm like, oh, I was oversteering or something.
Yeah.
And I love technical, because as soon as it clicks in my mind, I got it, like I got it. But
Correct.
sometimes there are so many movements. I think the best example is we just had another girl. She came to like jujitsu class for the first time, and I was like, I know exactly what that was like. The coach is like, okay, now you take your right hand and put it on the left shoulder and your leg, but there
Oof.
are 100 ways to put the right, like he knows exactly what it looks like. You have no
Right.
idea what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't know what are we talking about here. Interesting. Yeah, it's an important thing to know. So there are people that know stuff but cannot teach. And that's usually sometimes where help, I mean, not that they can't teach, but they just really don't know how to kind of look at that individual and say, oh, okay, I see what she's doing. Like, maybe she's moving this way, her hip is going this way or whatever, and adjust certain things. I remember when I was learning how to do a back handspring, and I was working on it. I mean, it was almost like 3 months, and I couldn't do it. And I'm just like, whatever it takes and whatnot. So then my brother had been out working for months, and he comes that day to train with us. And I tell him, and when he sees me, he's like, you still working on that? I'm
Oh,
like, yes. I'm like, I can't look. He's like, oh my God, let me see. And he sees me do, he's like, do this. And the minute he saw that little thing that I was missing, that was it.
oh,
I got it, and I was like, oh my God. So it's a pleasure. It's awesome when you're able to find that one person that's able to tweak that little part that you might need just for you to get it. Like you said, like once you get it, that's it. It
yeah.
just works.
Oh, and
Yeah.
it's so weird. Sometimes you work with someone new and they don't know, like you're like technical and you kind of like every step like a machine, you kind of need to know it. They're like, what are you doing? I
Yeah.
was like, I stripped myself completely because I don't want to assume. So now I'm like a robot. I'm like, go left. Okay. And then it's just
Right.
figuring the pieces together.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I listen, I'm here with an empty cup. Teach me. Yeah, absolutely.
It's so fun because especially going through a lot of the classes, like for me, I've noticed, and then picking up a little bit of different skills. Now, when I go to a lot of classes that last year or the year before that I went to, oh my God, my confidence is so different than before because
Nice.
you just like you get a lot of the basics that before you didn't. And for me, a lot of auditory processing is difficult with the ADHD. So you say
Ah,
something and it takes a while to like get there or it doesn't necessarily connect. But now
hmm.
that I know a lot of the basics, they go together. So now I can also see like a
Beautiful.
choreo and I can be like 1, 2, 3. Okay, before I like every step I had to really look at it more and more. And I was like, oh,
Hmm.
that's what it's like when you get good at something a little.
Like, oh, that's how it feels. Like you just go and it flows. Everything flows together. That's yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that now that you say choreo, it was one of the things that I had the biggest problem because um most martial arts they have a lot of forms, and it's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of drills and things like that, and so you get to really learn how to repeat things and see it and repeat it, see it and repeat it. My Where I come from, where my training come from, we did have forms and things like that, but we did a lot of what we call play fighting, like, or dancing. Fighting dancing is
That's pretty
what it was
cool.
called. Yeah, so I just I just perform. So it's kind if you ask me to do it again, I won't be able to do it because I was like, I don't know what I just did. I'm just performing, basically, just doing what I did. So one thing that I had to really learn was just seeing what they were doing and try to repeat it over. Like it's just choreo to me was actually something pretty hard for me to get. So I trained it with my brother little by little, like, okay, we'll just do 5 beats. And then we go up to 10 beats and then 15 and then 20 beats and see how many beats I can learn in one sitting before I'm like, okay, that's it. I forgot everything.
Yeah, that really is
Yeah.
the thing because I do kung fu as well. So the forms a lot of times, but you do them over such a long time. You're like, here's a bit and here a bit. And sometimes you're just trying to figure out the flow, but your technique might also not be perfect. So yeah, then you're trying
Hmm.
to start from somewhere, but now you don't even know because you got to start from the beginning to remember where
Correct.
you are because you don't think about each of the different steps that you're doing.
Right.
And so for
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
I thought for sure that choreo was going to be easier because of that, but it really wasn't. Especially then you have like a bunch. Like even when I did a kung fu workshop with like a double dagger, I was like 3/4 of
Mm,
it. I was like, all right, it went through really well in like one day versus
nice.
like 6 months. But then that last quarter, just
Hmm.
like it ruined me so much that I forgot the rest at the end. I was like, oh no, oh no, I
I know. He's like,
remembered the
wait,
entire.
what was the first one? What was the first part? I
Oh,
know. It
But
gets
that
like
was
that,
like where
yeah.
the jujitsu for certain like helped because the coach kept on doing the whole thing. And now grab your right leg and now go over and now get on the back.
Mm,
So I really had to learn. And then also knowing the difference, you learn one at a time and then you drill. Like you said, you
love
just
it.
really drill the stuff. And that
Yeah.
is for me where I realized, that's where I get it. And after that, things then started clicking. So that combination. So yeah, trying
Hmm.
out a bunch of different things really helped me
Yeah.
understand how I learn and like to accept
Hmm.
it. Oh man.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's the reason why dancers also do very well when they come into stunts because they're just able to pick up things. They're so used to seeing it and repeating it. They're amazing. They already have you know, a flow to their body. Dancers are amazing to mold to do stunts as well. Yeah,
And
so.
then mark they gotta hit the marks and be on the timing. Like
Absolutely,
they're
yeah.
perfect
Yeah,
for
their
it.
timing and no, it's amazing. I mean, they go from dancing to this like, oh shoot. I was like, all right, you would think that they've been doing martial arts for their entire life. And it's like, nope, just been dancing my entire life. So yeah, they're that's a whole different breed. I'm like, oh man, I'm in awe of dancers. They're amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally. I've never had
Hmm.
the rhythm. I've tried a bunch of things in the past.
And yeah, when they ask me, Wendy, do you know how to dance? I'm like, well, what are we talking about? What kind of dancing are we talking about? Listen, I'm Hispanic, all right? Are we talking about merengue? Are we talking about salsa? What are we talking about? That I can do. I don't know the other dance.
That was
Yeah.
like the closest to I was like salsa in my teen years, and I was like, oh, that kind of works. And then, but yeah, I tried to take like a hip hop class or something. I looked like in Save the Last Dance when the girl was like, all right, I'm
Oh
trying
yeah.
to like,
Yeah. I think everybody wanted to go ahead and try it. I think I was one of those. Like, I don't know what's happening here.
yeah, I was
Even though
right
I
that
love
time.
dancing, I think it's a amazing way to express yourself when you dance. Yeah, but I'm too shy most of the time.
I know, me too. That's really one of those like I don't really drink or anything, but like a couple
Mhm.
sips does make like a difference when you're out there.
Yeah, I know.
Just
Like I
a
just need
little.
just one little one.
All right, one shot and then
Right.
fireball.
Exactly.
Oh
That's
man.
awesome.
So is there something that you're currently learning like that's new or that you really want to try that you might have not tried yet?
Um, no, not really. Other than driving, because driving, it has so many different layers. I'm someone who loves to drill the basic. So I'm like, if as you know the course, if I don't get like 10 times like on the mark, and I won't move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so most of the times you find yourself different cars too. You have to figure out how that car performs because it's like, wait, I was able to do it in this car, why I'm not able to do it in this car? Like, what's happening? Um, so yeah, it's just that. And because I find it like driving to me is I compare it almost to martial arts. Like at the basic is very much like karate. You go this way, you go that way, it's very much, go and stop, very, very precise, which is what I love. Is like, okay, this is what you're doing. And then you get into kind of uh kung fu where you get to now flow with the cars. Now you're drifting the car. Now you're freaking, like that car is just dancing around you. So that's what I'm basically learning, where it's more of the drifting, more of being more precise with my marks and things like that, and the different cars. Because Jesus Christ, they put you in cars that sometimes you're like, what's happening? Yeah.
I always like which one is just not falling apart right now that we could use.
Yeah.
Horn
Yeah.
never works. Like
No, I had a car not I was doing a gig and I had a car that the brakes went out on me mid take and I was in a hill like I was and I'm like, "Oh my God." But it was interesting, it was very great. It's just the training that I had with Bobby's and with Driver's East, all the previous stuff, it's kind of like you kind of get to trust yourself and know it's like I know what just happened. I can control this car. Like I
nice.
know what to do. I that is kind of what we do at Bobby's or driver's ease where we learn how to the car when you lost control of the car supposedly is losing control, you know how to take that control back while being just calm. And it's like, listen, take your car. I don't want nothing to do with your car. Give me actually something that works.
But it
Yeah.
really is so good they have the training. It's so funny how similar we are on the technicalities because I feel the same. Like even like any small thing, like every like once every 3 months, I'll pick up a guitar at home because I'm like I really want to like play the song right now or
Mhm.
something. But then you like got to get back into it because like it's stiff. And I feel the same. I'm like, okay, 3 times in a row without messing up. Come on, you can do
Yeah.
it 3 times in a row without messing up. Okay, okay, one more time without messing up. And this, like, I need to get like the first, like those few without messing up
Yeah.
too. It's like my own little standard as well.
Yeah, yeah. And no, it just works for me because it's like, man, um, uh, as a as somebody who does martial arts, the way we drilled the basic, just the stepping, the kicking. I mean, it was a whole year and a half or 2 years of literally just stepping, kicking, blocking, punching. It's like, oh my God, until we got to actually do fighting and all of this stuff. So, but that is what has helped me kind of learn all of these other different martial arts because there's always they always come back to the basic. They just do it just a slightly different, you
Slightly
know?
different.
Yeah, just a
Like
little
have
bit.
the knee out, like bend it and kick or straight or like
Yeah, exactly. You have the MMA, the way they kick is a little bit different, but it's still the same kick. It's just the way they throwing it different. They're using their hip or they're using their knee or so it's like, oh, okay, I see how you're doing it. I just need to do that. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
that's actually really nice. Yeah, most people don't appreciate it. So my Sifu, he is Chinese too, and he talks about the old school way a lot. He's like, but in
Hmm.
America, you can't do it. People need to like move on. And even though he
Yeah.
doesn't just give anyone a belt if they're not ready, but like you move on. And
Hmm.
I'm really at the point where um I'm going up for my next one in a couple weeks again, like after a year of training in this one. And I feel like after that one,
Yeah.
I'm now intermediate considered, but I
Nice.
feel like my technique still has, I mean, we always do to work that technically I can move into a different class, a higher up one.
Yeah.
But I want to tell him too that I want to spend a few more months really making sure that like a lot of those basics that a lot of times you move through quickly because you got to learn the forms and you got to get the
Yeah.
strength and the horse stance, you kind of
Hmm.
go as you go. But I really, before moving into this next class, want to get a lot of those basics like just like right.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
appreciate
No.
that till later because you really first want to be like I want to be able to do this stuff, and then you like
Correct.
2 3 years in and you realize you're still not perfect. Yeah, you're still
Yeah,
far from
yeah, yeah.
perfect.
And I guess, it really depends on what is it that you're trying to accomplish with it. Are you actually trying to really learn how to fight, or do you just want to perform? Because then it's different. If
Mm-hmm.
you want to just learn how to perform, then you go to like these conventions, not conventions, but these classes that they give certain here, and you get to learn a couple of drills and little things here and there. So you kind of start learning how to do that. And that's fine because that wouldn't work for somebody who's actually trying to learn how to fight like an
Yeah.
actual fighter, because these people, they drill, and I mean, the basics are drill. They're there to actually fight versus someone who's I just want to learn how to perform so I can look good when I'm on set or things like that.
Yeah, totally. Like I
So,
know mine, it's like it's all like an art from there. Like even when we
yeah.
spar, I know I'm not like a natural in real life. Somebody to fight, I'd rather be like, all right, maybe I'll block here and there. And I have a quick hand, but it's
Nice.
most of
Yeah.
it is really just like the beauty of the art. And I feel
Yeah.
like I also don't want to get punched in the face. I'd rather get choked out a million times than punched in the face. I don't know about you.
Oh man, that's funny. Like I'd rather be like that's it. I've never actually thought about which one I would rather.
It just
I
came
don't.
up in a podcast for this, like a fighter like brand, and they just started a podcast, and that was actually research that they did. So it really is a thing that people usually have a preference for one or the other. It's like
Yeah.
one hands down. I can calm down in the choke like nothing tomorrow. Like this morning too, he was like, "Are you still good?" I was like, yeah." Yeah, I'm still getting out of this
So
one. I'm
good.
still good. But like, if you like
Nice.
pop me, I'd be like, okay, that's it.
Oof, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean maybe the face. I'm very much like I've never really liked people touching my face like that. So I can see how somebody touching your face, you'll just be like, we're done. We're about to like actually fight. You know, it's like, oh man. Yeah, no, that is actually pretty interesting. Yeah, no, in when we used to do fighting at my school, we it was mostly kind of like you won't really get hit. Like I'm not gonna hit you to the point where you're obviously to hurt you, but enough to say, hey, like that would have knocked you out. Like if you didn't
Yeah.
block it or anything, but it's still a hit. And you're like, oh fuck, man, you know, you're like, damn it. So but the rest of the body is game over. Like I mean, we came out of there with bruises and stuff. We're like, oh my God, look at my ribs.
Oh my God. For me, the
It was
kidneys are
crazy.
always so bad. They're so sensitive. Leave my
I
kidneys
know.
alone.
It's like you chill. Yeah, so it is interesting. But yeah, like we said, it really depends on how far you want to go. Or maybe you just kind of love the art and you want to have some kind of martial arts to defend yourself and God forbid anything, which I think it's amazing too. You know, so yeah, it really depends what's the outcome that you want from that school. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting because I know I started it because I knew I wanted to do stunts. So the martial art was like my first approach before I started any other stunt things to get
Mm,
into. So I was like, all right, let me first kind of get into this. And that everything I started loving. And I never would have thought because I didn't think I was a martial
nice.
arts or even stunt kind of
Yeah.
person. And then you do it and you're like, let's do it again.
Yeah, it is so true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're like, oh, well, that was fun.
Like, look at this
Yes,
bruise. Oh my God.
I know. Yeah, well, the wires, you come out of there all messed up with all these wires. You're like, how? There hasn't been that one time that I've been on wires that I haven't come out of there all bruised up. And it's not like it hits you or anything. It's just the wire just passes you or whatever when because we're training and we're
Yeah.
repeating the same thing, you come
Yeah,
out of
one
there
of
with
those
so many
right here.
bruises.
There's a little
Yeah.
scars. Like,
Yeah, you're like, what happened? And I put my long sleeves or sometimes on my pads and things like that, just in case what we're doing, it doesn't matter. You're like,
I love
whatever,
my
we're
little
gonna
like
get bruised
things.
up.
You just get a little, I remember when this
Oh
was.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're like, oh man. That's part of the job though, so we're used to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But thinking about what the industry is like, so you're training and you got all that down, and a lot happened in Atlanta, especially like all the Marvel stuff left. And I mean, the industry in general is slowed, and you can't hustle like you used to, COVID
Yes.
and then the strike. So what is it like currently being in Atlanta? Are you less in Atlanta, or is it okay?
Yeah, it's like half and half. Yeah, I'm not very completely known in Atlanta. Interesting enough, every time I've worked here in Atlanta is because I've worked with the coordinator in previous projects, whether in LA or in New York or
Nice.
somewhere else. Yeah. But Atlanta, I mean, it's good. I mean, it sucks that these Marvels went out because yeah, you can feel the industry a bit slower kind of thing, but I'm pretty sure I'm confident that it will pick up. And I mean, hustle, we email. I still do kind of the old style how we used to go into set because while COVID was happening, obviously we couldn't go into set. But now since that's done, we still get to go into set. Like I was when back in New York, I had a couple of guys still going in there hustling the coordinator. I was like, all right, we're bringing it back to the old days, just getting in there, face to face. Because it's hard, I think, to uh by email, you just don't really have a face there. It's just another email. I think a lot of people do social media is why I'm social media. I'm a very shy individual, but I do mostly social media because it's how you will be able to know like, oh, okay, she knows how to do this. Oh, that's right. Wendy knows how to do that or so forth. So yeah,
I
it's a
totally
little bit
get
tough.
that. Yeah, social media is like a little forced for me too. You'll see me like not on for like a whole week, and then I'll be like boom, 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 just like start posting a bunch of stuff because now I have
Yeah.
just some stuff to post. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm the same. I'm a pretty private person, even though I'm like
Yeah.
open. people and
Hmm.
meeting and all that stuff. But yeah, social media is tricky. But I agree. At least you're
Hmm.
like seen. And then a coordinator was just saying, sometimes I also go to see how many friends do we have in common when I get all these
Oh, that's a
hundreds
good
of
one.
emails
Yeah.
of yeah. I
Hmm.
was like, I hadn't even thought about that. He's like, sometimes I get 300 submissions. I look at it and I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll call or text someone on the references, but
Yeah.
sometimes I go check out social media. So yeah, I find the emails so hard. I actually last night I couldn't really sleep well. The time change and it just came
Oh,
from
that's right. Yeah.
oh, it's
Hmm.
tough. And then I was like, after all this talking and how impersonal it is, I know this is risky to write this coordinator back after he said he has me on the books. But I was like, yo, we don't know
Yeah.
each other, so I figured we
Yeah, it's
have
like,
some stuff in common.
yeah. I mean, it's honestly it's the only way, you know. Most of the time I ask them, I was like, what is an appropriate amount of time that I can kind of update you? And they will tell you sometimes every month. He's like, no, like every 3 months. I don't mind you sending me an email. Just reminding me every so I was great. And I keep a note there, I keep a spreadsheet. He's like, okay, he wants every 3 months.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Oh, you
great.
also do spreadsheets. Oh my God. I love spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we have to kind of stay some kind of organized, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business. So you have
Hmm.
to treat it as a business. You got to be able to, get yourself known. And, if a coordinator doesn't know of me, I have to take responsibility for that because I should have been able to be sending my things or shaking hands and being out there. But sometimes I'm just like, oh my God. Oh, it's crazy. It's an interesting industry, but I'm used to it.
I bet. So, how does it feel when you've been in for so long? So, it's been quite a while that you have been in. So, when things slow down, do you get this typical feeling like, especially a lot of actors get, or a lot of people like me who are kind of newer, you're like, oh my God, I need to, like, I did one thing. When is the next thing finally coming? Do you still kind of
Mhm.
get that feeling like, I hope they didn't forget me? Or do you
Oh,
book enough
absolutely.
work? Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think uh I mean I think at least most of the people that I speak to, we kind of feel the same way. At least for me, I sometimes, a few weeks will pass by and you're like the phone is dead silent and you're like, did I just get blacklisted? What happened?
Oh,
What did I do? Did they forget about me? Oh my God. And and sometimes, I'll email them or whatever, those that they like every month but they're just some coordinators that I've worked with so many times and that we're just actually friends and I'll be like,
yeah.
hey, I'm just, they like Wendy, I know you. Like I know you, girl. I was like just making sure that you haven't forgotten about me.
Yeah,
So
especially
yeah,
being
no,
in two markets, right? Because the other person that was
yeah,
like Texas, New York, and you're Atlanta, New York, what he was saying, well, sometimes I have to remind them that I'm in town because they might not know. They might think I'm in Austin, and so I'd be
yeah.
like, hey, I'm in town if something's happening.
Right, it's true. And I let them know, like, dude, just ask me, am I available? That's all you need to know. Am I available? I'll get there. It doesn't matter where I am or because I'm a local from Atlanta and I'm a local from New York. So just let me know if I'm available. That just ask. Cause yeah, that's one thing I agree. Cause sometimes be like, oh, maybe she just moved to Atlanta and that's it. And it's like, no, 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 no. I'm still in New York. I like to hang out in Atlanta more now.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the weather. And like you said, it's a little calmer. But I can't
Oh
wait to
yeah.
at least be somewhere where there are enough people that, yeah, that I'm cool with. That also trust me that you
Mhm.
have. Because that's like the nice thing really about stunts. It's like a community and a trust, and you kind of play together. And
Mhm.
any moment you could out of nowhere without a submission get a text message. Like we could be on here and your phone goes off like,
Yeah.
hey, come to Chicago tomorrow, and you could be going versus
Correct.
like for actors, like if you didn't you think submit or to be submitted, then you get an audition, maybe a callback, and then like all that
Yeah.
stuff, and you don't get anything. So stunts, it's like so nice you can actually build something,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
that's what I find so beautiful about it. And everyone's
Absolutely.
so chill. I've really not met anyone that hasn't really been
Yeah. No, most of us are chill. I mean, again, like any other job, you always find those that are just a little out of it and everything. But for those that really know their stuff, they're very chill. We go in there, we do our job, and we get out. We go in and get out, have fun, enjoy the fact that we are part of an art. that a lot of people love. We get to express ourselves in so many different ways, and we get to have an audience that wants to laugh, that cries, that all of these things, and we are part of that. Like, so
Yeah.
that's what I tell most people is just have fun.
It's so
Yeah.
fun because a lot of people when I talk to, they didn't plan to get into stunts. They did something else
Mm.
before and they got in. So the transition was just like, oh, I'm in. So it's always been chill. So I find that so interesting that when you choose you want to do something, the stress is so different because you're like, all right, I'm in point A, now I want to go to point
Yeah.
B. And it's not as like flowy because you're like, all right, I'm investing in this and I want to be at this point and these are probably things I
Hmm.
should focus on versus, you're playing here and then you happen to be here and then you can get used and
Yeah.
you take it a little lighter. And when you hear that, a lot of people will be like, well, news and performers are always like so intense and then they have these questions and all this stuff. And that's like I feel like the difference between like kind of stumbling in when you were younger and now also been doing it for a while. And
Hmm.
maybe people used to also hustle before and it's different now. The way the industry is, it's just
Yeah.
so they might forget that when you're not established yet, you're like putting in so much work and it can come across
Yeah.
so terrible. Like you're like, hey, I may look really intense, but it's like I only have so much time to tell you the things that I want to say.
Right. Yeah, no, it's so true. It's like yeah, like I'm just trying here. And also you get so many different people telling you different things of what to do, how to, and you're like, I don't know what's the correct way anymore. You
Yeah,
know?
and that's why it's so nice to talk to everyone because it
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be. And I know this is always a thing, like kind of be yourself. I am myself. I don't like
Yeah.
try to pretend to be anyone else, but sometimes
Mhm.
your weirdest you might
Oh,
come out.
absolutely. Absolutely. No, I think what people don't understand, like obviously you're you, but you have different I wouldn't say personality, but different way of acting when you're with your friends, when you're with your
Hmm.
family, and when you're at work. So you have those, elements that you kind of like, but I'm very like, if you talk to my family, you'll be like, Wendy is not shy. Like, or you talk to my friends, like, no, she's the one always talking and laughing and doing all this thing. But you talk to, let's say, a coordinator or people at work, it's like, no, Wendy's very like quiet and it's like, last thing it's like, but that's just how I am because I'm at work. I'm just more like chill, I'm
Hmm.
paying attention. I'm making sure that whenever they say stunts, it's like I'm ready and I'm just in present time basically. So,
Yeah.
and we have a little times when we joke around and play around because sometimes we do 12-hour days, so we're like, oh my gosh, so we play around. But yeah, it's different. And if I'm meeting a new coordinator, I'm not gonna talk to him like I would talk to my friend. I'd be
Oh
like,
my
yo, what's
God. Yeah.
good? You imagine?
I like
So
cannot. Yeah.
it's not like you're not being yourself, but
Yeah.
you're being your conservative self. It's like, okay, like in any job, you're not gonna go to a job until you be like, yo, what's good? So
But
what you
that's
guys got?
exactly like the best point about it because both like going to a job interview, like you go there and then they see this person, okay, they come in and then everybody's like cookie cutter because you go in, you're being kind of professional
Yeah,
for the 5 minute interview or whatever you have versus being able to hang out. So I like when you can go places and just kind of chill. And it takes like a couple years to realize that those times that networking doesn't mean, hey, so when are you going on this? So
yeah,
it's literally like we're all just gonna hang and eventually everything's just gonna happen. But I feel like everybody needs to feel that difference. Like people can
hmm,
tell you that all the time, but when you
yeah,
go, you're not losing anything. You're losing more trying to push something in an
yeah,
environment where right now that's not the thing. So like
right.
going on a date too, though, it's so awkward. You're like, are we on the same thing? Do we have the same views? You kind of
I
feeling it?
know. I telling you, I don't do dates. I'm like, I am horrible with dates. Like the small talk. You imagine having to repeat, and most of the time, like if I would go on a date, I'd be like, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm a waitress. Like I would tell them like I'm something else because then it just I feel very too shy because then it becomes like about me and what I do
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And I get to kind of like, oh no, like, like let's not talk about that. Let's just kind of get to know each other and stuff like, but yeah, no, I know with new coordinators too, like I tell them, to me, it's I think the difference with some people is like they try to go and hustle a coordinator and try to be their friend and do all of these things. It's like you know that if you're going in to hustle a coordinator, you're not there to be their friend and tell him or her your whole life story. You're there to tell them your name, give if you have a hard copy or whatever. I mean, before they used to have hard copies of your resume and things like that. Like for me, when I was there, we were done with the hard copies, but I would just say hi. My name is Wendy. I'm just here to ask you if it's okay for me to send you my information. I know I'm new in New York. I'm a new stunt person or whatever. Is it okay for me to send? Be like, oh yeah, of course. Okay, thank you. Nice meeting you. And that's it. That was like my main thing. I'll just say my name, ask them permission to send them my stuff so they can see what I do and have a great day. I'm out. Sometimes they will then just, spark up a conversation more and then you go for it. But that was my thing. I used to go in and out, in and out.
That sounds
Yeah.
so smooth. That's actually really good because I'm sure a lot of people like I remember the first time somebody's like, we're gonna hustle set. I was like, I don't even know what that means. What are we gonna do? And how weird is it
Mhm.
if you go by yourself and you've never been there? Like, what if you go and they don't let you on set? Like, there's in my mind were
Yeah.
like a thousand things. So the first time I went, I was like on the phone. I was like, "You already in there?" And there's like police. I'm just like casually walking past the police that's like guarding the street. I was like, "I'm supposed to be here." I was like, "Oh my god."
Right. Yeah, it was hard. Yeah, no, usually I will either go with some other stunt friends and they knew some people that were already on the set and they were like, yeah, the stunt coordinator, he's available now. Or, we're on our most of the time we'll go like on a lunch break or, like we'll kind of look to just to be there. It's like, oh my God, it was crazy. And also in New York when it was cold, you were just standing around just waiting just to see the coordinator. It's like, oh, the coordinator's there. He looks like he's not busy. You go in there and you say your name like, hi, I'm Wendy, I'm new here. I just want to, is it okay? Can I send myself? Oh yeah, Wendy, you can send. Great. Goodbye. And that's it.
It's so funny. I know
Yeah.
like a lot of stuff's not shooting in LA, but it's so cool because that's what I'm gonna have to start doing, which is I fly out there anyways a lot to train and to like meet people. But I'm planning to
Mm.
to move there by next year summer. Like my
To
son,
LA?
mhm, really, I
Oh,
know.
nice. Okay. Well, that's a big change. Have you seen the or gone to the stunt? One of my friends, she opened up a stunt school, but I don't know if it's far from you. I think it's hers is in Miami. I don't know. Her name is
Yeah, Jasenia.
Jasenia.
Yeah, yeah. I trained with
Yeah,
them
yeah, yeah.
before. Yeah,
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I don't know if it was far because I'm like her location looks amazing. Like and I'm pretty sure she has probably classes there that'd be great for
yeah.
new
They're
stunt
really good
people.
workshops. Like they invite a
Yeah.
lot of cool people from Hollywood and Atlanta. Like Danny
Yeah, I'm
LaBoyer
pretty
was
sure.
there, so that was cool. He's like
Right.
in your area. And then one of
Mm-hmm.
the ones that became a friend of mine that I'm gonna take an advanced class with just upcoming weekend in LA, like Anthony Nana Kornpanum, and then she had 87
Mm.
North there, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. They're
Oh,
really cool for
nice. Okay.
workshops. Yeah, for workshops, I
Yeah,
really like it
yeah.
because it's far from where I live. I do have my own like stunt gym that I go to here. It
Ah,
doesn't have workshops with like people that come in, but it has like standard, very old school kind of training, like the 3 hour blocks where you really go through all of the different things.
oof. Nice.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it's really nice to get that. But then I like to go to New York and LA for specific training and to get to know the people.
Oh,
So
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so you're gonna go
it's
to
been
Jam
fun.
then in LA?
Yeah, I did the
Perfect.
I did the beginning tumbling there last year, and it's so funny because they were like, "All right, cartwheel. All right, let's do the cartwheel a little faster. Let's do a one-handed one. All right, let's try to do an aerial in the same hour. Like I can do a one-handed now one. That's fine. I'm like impressed
Oh,
because 2 years ago I couldn't even do a regular cartwheel. So,
oh, that's
but
awesome.
like an aerial, I'm like one day would be nice.
Yeah, exactly. Let's build up to that. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I used to live in LA for like almost 10 years. I was in LA. So it's gonna be it's good. I mean, you're going from what, Florida to LA? Nice, nice. Is your son excited to go?
Yeah, he's like so used to it. We've always moved around a lot. So he's
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, used
So,
to moving. We just now, this is the long, not probably the longest I've ever been anywhere here in Florida, which is because my partner, his daughter,
mhm,
like they're co-parenting here. So I was like, okay,
gotcha.
we're going to make a 5 year plan. She's going to be out of high school, which is the same year that my son's going to be out of middle school. So that was like
Hmm,
my making my connections, getting like out there, doing the stuff. And I
nice.
mean, money will have to come somehow, but
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to make
uh,
it work somehow.
but do you
Yeah.
miss it? Have you ever thought about going back to LA or do you really like
No.
Atlanta more?
Yeah, I like Atlanta, but also like I want to move to Florida, but the only reason is because it's closer to my parents. I get to
Oh,
go there sooner, like faster. The But the thing is that interesting enough, I don't like LA's weather. That people go there for their weather, and I'm like, I hate it.
really? Which part of
Yeah,
it?
the fact that it's always sunny. I don't like the sun.
What? That is the
I
weirdest
know.
thing I've ever heard.
I know. People are like, no, I mean, the weather in LA, beautiful, of course. But every day sun, I tell them like I need some randomity in my I want to be able to wake up one day and then it's freaking snowing outside. We have a blizzard. Next day it's 70 degrees, and the next day we have a freaking storm, a rainstorm, a tornado. I love it. Give me something different.
No, because I'm
But
from Germany, so I have the four seasons just like in New York, and you get the gray
yeah.
and you get the cold, and which was nice growing up, no, having it. So people are always like, "How can you live in Florida?" And it's always like the same season. It's still not the same season. I guess like cold, it gets warm,
Hmm.
then we get the rain season in the summer where it's way too hot to do anything, anyways. But then like right
Yeah.
now, it's technically nice, but right now it's actually pretty hot already. It's really hot outside
I
already.
can imagine.
But it's
Yeah.
beautiful, like a day that's great. When we do get the gray day, so I can see how you might enjoy that because when it's gray and you just like on the sofa, but like
Yeah.
I'm like a flower. Like whenever it is gray, like my mood isn't quite there.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm the total opposite. It's crazy. When it's raining and it's cloudy, I get so active. Like I guess because it balances me out as far as like I have to do all of this like busy stuff. I have to go, go, go. But at least outside it's calm. Like I have that kind of like cloudy day and it's just like, all right, at least that's calm. The sun now, like when the sun is hitting me, like I'm freaking hot, I'm this, and I'm like, oh no. But I think Atlanta, it gives me the fourth season, but not so severe like New York. Like New York gets really cold. Atlanta gives you a little bit of cold, but nothing like New York. So that's why I like Atlanta. Like I still get to see the fall. I love the winter, the summertime, like you really get to feel the four seasons here, and that's what I like.
Oh, that's nice. It's just, I
Yeah.
never really thought about it. Like whenever I went, I feel like it's always like the same season, and that's kind of reminds me a lot of like how Florida is. But I know it gets a little crisp
Mm-hmm.
in the winter, and then nobody drives with one snowflake on the ground. They're like, "Don't drive."
Yeah, yeah. It's the one thing, like, when I go to my country back in Dominican Republic, I'm like, oh, it's like, oh my God, that's amazing. You're in an island. I'm like, I trust me, I love my island, but man, I can't do it. Like heat every day. Oh
But
my
that's what I
God, I
thought,
will
like
pass
why
out.
LA for a lot of people is nice because in the evening it kind of cools down, and some days like
Yes.
that perfect, like in mid 70s is like my perfect range too.
Yes.
Like a t-shirt, and if I need a hoodie, that's nice. Like a t-shirt or a hoodie. I don't want to wear
Mm-hmm.
any more and I don't need to wear less.
Yeah. Yeah. No, California has amazing weather, but no, it's not. Yeah, it's too much sun for me. It rains too little for me. I'm like, I need rain. You have though like March, February, March, and April. There's a couple of scattered rain things, but nothing like an actual rain. Like, I
Yeah, I
man, I
do miss
miss
a
that.
real rain where you can smell it because even in Florida when it rains, you don't get that like that cool kind of smell or the
Yeah.
moss or the grass. Like for some
Yeah.
reason, the rain doesn't really smell like anything. It's just like
I
wet.
know. Yeah, yeah. No, it's wild, but no, it's interesting, but you'll love it. I mean, LA is amazing. I just personally for me, it was too far from my parents.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I was just like, bro, like when is it gonna rain? I
That's
feel like, oh
interesting
my
because
God.
to know that it's like the weather for you, because I'm always curious when people are like, I understand why people might move out for like multiple reasons.
Hmm.
But like the weather is interesting because for me, it is like the weather. Then everybody's always like, well, now you really have to be local for a lot of, especially a lot of the things I want to do are like specific and they always have to be local just right
Mm,
there. So I'm like,
yeah.
okay, so I just gotta be there, but the weather is also beautiful. You can hike
Oh
there, which I
yeah.
enjoy. And most of my friends
That
actually do live there.
No, that's perfect. Yeah, no, hiking in LA, or you're gonna freaking love it. And the one thing that LA did have that I was just like, oh, it's amazing. Um, you have the beach, obviously, but also if you want to go uh snowboarding or whatever, you have the mountains there.
Oh yeah, it's
It's
not
like a
far. Yeah,
2 hour
yeah,
this
yeah.
way and a 2 hour. It is. So you kind of get it. You know what I mean? You were able to. I mean, California is a beautiful state, and it's kind of like you want to snowboard, you drive that way. You want the beach, you drive that
Well,
way.
you asked me just earlier about my son. That's going to be the selling point because he's always like, "Why did we leave Germany? I do miss the snow." Like he was when he was 5. He was,
Mhm.
like in the Winter Sports Olympics, like the luging, where the bobsleighs go down, but it's like the little
Oh,
sleigh. He did
yeah.
that where like you go like down like this when he was 5.
What? That's amazing. Oh my God. I
So he
would
was
be
like in the
scared for
little
him.
in
Be
the
like,
like
what do
little
you want
suit
to
with the
do?
helmet, and he's just like, and then they were like, "And
Oh,
here he goes, Alexander Valles."
oh, that is so cool. Oh my God. So he misses that, huh?
Yeah,
He's more,
he loves
uh,
the snow, so he's like mad about
he's
not
a
having
winter
any.
boy.
We went to
Yeah.
Colorado last year for spring break, and they had a dry winter, and we had to drive up many thousand feet just to find snow on the
Oh,
mountain because it was so dry.
and that's strange because Colorado snows.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, yeah. I have one of my friends live out there. She just like early on, she shows me the snow over there. I'm like, how is it already snowing over there? Like, what was not even we haven't even ended like fall or something. Like, what is the problem? And beautiful fall, I mean, snow over there. So that's interesting to hear
Yeah,
because
we had bad
Colorado is
timing.
another great state. Yeah. But maybe when you guys went then it was just kind of like, yeah, no.
But like speaking of son, that's like one thing I learned when you did meet my son. He grew a lot since you've seen
Yes.
him last time. He's taller
I
than
can
me now.
imagine. Oh, he is, huh? Because he was already tall when I met him.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
now he's gonna be 14 in May, and he's taller than me. I'm now officially the shortest person in this household. So everybody's
It
taller,
gets that way, yeah. Yes,
and I'm five
wow.
seven, and it's
Really? And he's 14? He's gonna be 14, you said, or he is
yeah,
14?
he's gonna be 14. So because when you officially started, your son was 16, so he was a teen. So I can't even
Yeah.
imagine what that's like. Your son's like, what are you doing now? Like, what was it even like? Did he comprehend like when you started? Because what your brother did, I assume he
Yeah.
comprehended what
Oh,
you
he
did.
absolutely did because he I used to bring him to set with me all the time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He has a whole bunch of pictures with all the Power Rangers.
Oh,
Um yeah, so he understood what I was doing. Absolutely. Yeah, because he was no it was not something that was new to him, the whole set thing. Yeah, because he loved being on set. You seeing the Power Rangers all the time and that was his since he was homeschooled, he loved it because it's like, okay, you get to learn things about set and you get to learn, about this and you can ask, the director this or because the director is very close to my brother. They're basically
oh.
very good friends. And so yeah, he grew up there too. So it wasn't like, hey, what are you doing now? What the hell is stunts?
Such a huge family affair,
Yeah.
but it's so nice to hear that you said that you're doing homeschooling because that's really one of the things everybody's kind of going into the homeschool virtual. And I'm always
Hmm.
like, I really want, but your son was able to be social. I'm always like worried, like, what if
Yeah.
I then work a lot and then he's like just at home, like on a computer doing virtual, but especially moving to
Yeah.
LA, I was like going to high school. I was like, it seems so risky. It's just like a new
Yeah,
area.
yeah. Well, when I was homeschooling him, I was living in LA and it was actually a lot easier because LA did have a lot of like curriculum. They had he swam, he did baseball, he did basketball. Like they had so many really amazing things for kids. But mostly when people say like, how is he going to learn how to communicate with others and they like that's something that I got so much from a lot of people. And I always known and I've always told them like I learned how to treat others through my parents. Like my parents were the one who instilled that respect towards other people. It wasn't in school. In school, I learned how to curse. I learned how to fight, fight people. I
Very
learned how to
true.
like, yeah,
I wonder
you
about
know,
that a lot because I like my son. He like I went since he was little, and we go to a restaurant. He orders his food, like he like has to know, and like he does all the
yeah.
stuff. But I'm just wondering, like once you're then a teenager, you said like in your ways. I don't want to. He's so easily to become a hermit crab because he's like, I'll just play video games.
Yeah. Like I'll just be in my little corner right here. Yeah. No, I mean, but like they find or you help them find the things that they love to do. That's why my son did so many different things. Like he played football or flag football. I was hoping he didn't like that because I was like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't like playing football.
Tried that for a little bit too, and I was so glad.
I know I couldn't. I mean, obviously I will support him. But I was just really hoping. I was like, please don't like football. Please don't like football. And everybody used to be like, oh, he's gonna be big because he's 6'4". He's like, oh, he's gonna be great for football. I'm like, no.
So your son is really tall?
Yeah, yeah, he's very tall. Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
you're
yeah. People.
short. Can or wait, are we the same height? Are you were
No, I'm only 5'2". I'm
I
very
thought you were
short.
shorter. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
you were
Hmm.
short.
Yeah, yeah. Some people are like, you should like that's your kid. I'm like, yes, yes. And they'd be like, how did he get his height? And I look at them and later, I was like, what do you mean? What I'm extremely tall. Do you not see how tall I am? And they just
It's from
laugh
the
like,
inside.
I know. I'm like, do you not see how tall I am? Hello. That's where he got his height. And they're like, right.
He's eating all those
Yeah.
vegetables at home. I said too, I was like, maybe I should stop feeding him all these vegetables. He just keeps growing and I need to buy new clothes and
Right.
shoes.
Exactly, man. They grow so fast. So fast. Yeah, it's crazy.
Do you have like a
Mhm.
special memory of something like even though he kind of grew up around it, but when you got to work on a job or watch something specific that was like a moment where you're like, oh, that was like so sweet to have that, especially like a boy
Oh,
mom too, doing something like
yeah. No, I mean, I think the most thing is just kind of being able to the shows that he's really excited about. And then knowing to calling him and be like, guess who I'm working with, or guess what show I'm working on, and he's like, stop. Um, the show that was mostly for him, it was Westworld.
oh,
And I was working in LA over there when they were shooting Westworld, and I was out there, and I was just kind of telling him like, guess where I'm working at. He's like, where? He's like, Westworld. He's like, stop. And he got all excited. And you kind of just hope for a bit that your kid kind of um not looks up to you as much, but kind of gets a little bit of saying like, no, that's my mom. Like, dude, my mom did that right there. Like that's her.
I know, like in the
Yeah.
inside, I always hope, like, I was like, I know, I like myself, I'm cool with who I am, but, and I know, like,
Yeah.
we're really close, my son and I, so
Hmm.
we're cool with that. But I really wonder about that one day, if that's like gonna be one of those things. So I'm always like waiting for like that first big one where I'm gonna be like, ah, that's the one.
Yeah, like that's the one. But interesting enough, kids are could be maybe because I don't know because they grow in it, so they don't get too like they're like, oh yeah, that's that or that. Because I'm very much like that too. It's like, oh yeah, no, I've worked on this thing, and people are like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not so big for me because I've been in it for so long. And probably for them it's like because don't you hear like some actors that they're like A-listers and they ask them about their kids and they're just like, yeah, my kids doesn't think I'm cool. They like
Yeah,
this other
true.
actor, but they don't think I'm cool.
Yeah, somebody in my
Yes.
kung fu once brought up like he's always like, "Oh, how's it going? Did you like book anything?" I was like, "Oh, don't ask me every time when I come in." But it's so funny. Then this new kid came and he's like, "What's going on?" And then my son's just like, "Ah, yeah, my mom like does stunts." And this other guy's like hyping up. This kid's like, "What? Like what kind of stuff? Like what did you train? What
Yeah.
do you do?" My son's just like for him, like he like you said, like he'll go train with me somewhere. I'm like, "All right, I gotta go here on that Saturday, so you're gonna come with me." And then he loves
Yeah.
high falls, for example. He like tries
What?
all kinds of stuff. There's at the trampoline park is a 10-foot one, and he tries all
Oh.
kinds of stuff, just like
Oh, he's brave. I don't do high falls. I'm like, oh, he's brave. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, no, there was one time though that I when my son was in school, one of the only times that he was in a school, they had what they call like uh kind of like bringing the parents to, like what they did. So you had firefighters, you had teachers, you had lawyers and all that stuff. And I was just like, man, like what should I do? I mean, like what I don't know what to talk about or whatever. And my brother's like, dude, like what the hell? Like we do stunts. And I'm like, okay, he had the idea of bringing his the suit, his Power Ranger stuff. And man, so my brother and I we did a we brought some mats in and did a cool little small choreo there. Everyone was blown away. There was like my
wow.
son became the coolest kid in the whole school. He's like, "Oh my God, you mean you're telling me that you have an uncle that's a Power Ranger and your mom does what?" Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, that's right." Yeah, but because it was just like, oh, everybody was so serious, and my brother and I would just go in there, we just do this whole fight scene. And mind just a whole bunch of boys loved that. It was just like they were eating it up. It was great. And I know he still
Oh,
remembers that. He's like, oh my God, I remember that day like it was yesterday.
It's like
Yeah.
such cute memories. That's why I was so excited to talk to you because I don't have a lot of like female friends that will have a kid or that they're already old
Yeah.
enough to understand.
Hmm.
So it's so fun to see what it was like for you and as he was kind of growing up and now that he's an adult.
I
And
know, yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it is great to hear the things that he can remember and all that stuff. Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm glad you remember that because we I was like, I don't know what to do. I was like, what am I supposed to say? Okay, yeah, do stunts and that's it or whatever. And I was like, nah, let's bring it. Let's show them exactly what stunts do. And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
because I
Yeah,
feel
so
like
it
when
was
you
really
say
cool.
it, it's like so off the wall that you can't even really understand that that's what it actually is. Because if people say like, "Oh yeah, I'm an actor or a screenwriter," or like you can kind of sort of get it. But if you're like you do stunts and then like the brain probably first goes like, "Huh?" Like if it's not something that you know, but like to actually
Yeah.
see it, that's very very
Correct.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of people I mean, especially back in the days too, they're very much they think that it's the actor that's doing it.
Hmm.
You know, that's their hero. And it's like, maybe some, because some actors are amazing and they do their own stunts. But 90% of the time, 98% of the time, you got your stunt double there.
And that's like the coolest
Yeah.
thing because like people like you and I who are kind of more private and like
Hmm.
maybe a little more introverted in that sense, and you don't want everybody to know you, but like you know, and the people that need to know, and you're like,
Yeah.
nah, I rolled
Right,
down those stairs for
exactly.
that famous actor. Right?
I mean, like, yep, yep, that was all me. Yes, exactly.
You just
Exactly.
get to be the badass.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, exactly. Like just recently I worked with Bad Bunny in one of the movies that he was in and man, I it was so crazy because I know of Bad Bunny obviously. I just for some reason I guess I couldn't place his face. I don't know why and I just thought he was the stunt double. I was like, "Oh wow, that stunt double is great." I'm like, "Oh, he sounds just like him."
Oh my god,
You
that's
know,
funny.
and I had this whole like mini kind of ruffle little thing with him and afterwards when I noticed, I was like, wait a second. I'm like, oh shoot, that's Bad Bunny. And I had to call my son right away and be like, guess who I'm working with today? He's like, wait, who? I was like, Bad Bunny. He's like, wait, what?
I saw like
I was like, yeah.
another famous music celebrity, which I don't know if you actively can see, but on your IMDb said there was
Mhm.
another female one that was like very famous. And I was like, I
Oh
can't
yeah.
wait.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. It was Cardi B. Yeah, I doubled her. Yeah. Well, the movie it was never done because whatever happened, they stopped it. But yeah, we did a whole bunch of pre-production stuff. Yeah, it was we were literally like a week away from starting to shoot before everything just said everything. Everybody, I guess she had other things to do. I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah, we didn't get to shoot the movie.
oh
Yeah.
man, but I was just like, I can't even imagine what would you be doubling in that sense. It was like it's so
Yeah.
I was like, that must
Yeah.
be crazy. Is she
Yeah,
like your
yeah.
height? Is it like
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. She's actually a little bit shorter than I am. She's actually pretty short. Yeah. But we are the same color and I'm pretty sure like as we it depends what season you catch it. If you catch me in the summertime, I'm gonna be dark. Catch me in the wintertime, I'm gonna be a lot lighter.
I hear
So
you.
yeah, it really depends. But yeah, yeah, no, we were a great match. It was pretty cool because I was just like, wait, how am I doubling her? I'm like, look, I don't have the big titty and the
I
big
mean, all I
everything. I
was
was like, I
thinking
don't
was like
yeah, I was like, listen, I don't
they put you
have
in
all
like
of
a
that.
suit just with all
Yeah, because she was supposed to be like an old lady also. So she was gonna
uh,
be playing like two characters, like herself and the her grandmother kind of thing. So yeah, they had me in this other suit, but they also had these things that will make my boobs look I mean like my boobs look bigger, my behind look bigger. I was like, oh my God.
do you have pictures? I need to see
You know, yeah,
off
yeah,
the
it
off
was
air. I need to see.
of course, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, oh my God, and the nails. I was like, how am I going to like walk? I'm not used to having long nails like that.
Oh
It's that
God.
to me, that's a whole different art. Me and the hair and makeup and we just had a blast because I was like, I don't, how am I supposed to even
How do
walk
you
around with these
open
nails?
anything or use it or the
Yeah,
door handle?
like how do we do this? How do we, I don't know.
It's like a weapon attached to each of your fingers.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, how am I supposed to do my stunts with this? I don't get it. It was amazing. We had so much fun.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I can imagine. Well,
Hmm.
we talked like about a bunch of different things, but the
Yeah.
main question that everybody gets on here, and it's
Mhm.
a lot of it similar for everybody, but still always interesting. What's in your stunt bag?
Oh, what's in my stunt bag? Well, obviously, my pads.
Yeah, it's same for everyone. But usually I
Yeah.
hear pads for myself and then pads for the double, which I thought that
Yes.
was interesting when I heard that the first time. Like, you should always have pads for yourself and pads for the double. Don't shove with
Oh,
only
yeah,
pads for you.
absolutely. Yeah. No, if I'm doubling somebody, I have double everything. Double everything, extra things, just because you just never know what they're gonna want to do. And sometimes you need the actor there so they can at least kind of practice something. So you want to make them comfortable with all the pads just in case they need it or everything. But if I'm not doubling anybody, then I just have my pads. I usually have the basic knees, elbows, back girdle, and a couple of little things that I can just move around depending on what stunt I'm doing.
Any girl
Yeah.
specific things that you'd say that you learned over the time that's like really helpful to have in your stunt bag that maybe the guys
Um,
don't really
yeah, no, to me it's just I have a lot of small little pieces of foam, you can say. They're made from Action Factory
I
and
know
from
which ones you
other
mean.
things.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah, and from other little things that I've been able, they're just sometimes they're thick like this, sometimes they're a little thinner. And those have helped me throughout my entire career. I have so many little ones because it's just like when I did a stunt that I was hitting a car, but I was like in a tube and a tank top. So there was very small places where I can hide my pads. So I just knew where I was going to hit that car, and I just put the pads right there, like just right here in the little corner right here. Like, you get to like pick little things. So my stunt bag is full of that stuff.
That's actually
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's pretty neat, especially yeah, especially if you have to wear small, skimpy
Oh
kind of
yeah.
things. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
speaking of that, like you seem like you're also probably been more like tomboyish, I assume. What
Mm-hmm.
is it like for you when you had to start walking in heels or doing stunts in heels? Did you
Yeah.
practice or
You know,
did you do anything?
I know. No, actually, I've always known how to wear heels. I've loved wearing heels since I was young.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
used to
your
wear here.
Spanish side then.
Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely my Hispanic side. I love wearing heels, but yes, it's but you kind of it does though lean a lot into like I just want to be comfortable because when you're on set, you're so uncomfortable sometimes with all the plastic things that they put on you or the wardrobe that you're in that all you want to do is just be comfortable. So yeah, when it comes down to just wearing a lot of sneakers, I have a whole bunch of sneakers, I'm just comfortable 98% of the time. But yeah, when it comes down to the sets and having heels, I'm like, ah, here we go.
Oh,
I
did
just knew
you
that it's gonna be
practice in
pain.
it though? Was it different for you, like doing kicking and punching or like falling
Um,
in heels? Because I mean, when you
yeah,
fall in heels, usually you're just, when you're
yeah.
stumbling.
No, interesting enough, that was something that I used to just do for fun. Because I always used to say, like, living in New York, like, what if I get into a fight, because you take a lot of trains in New York, and when you're out with your friends or whatever, I was like, what if I get into a fight and I'm over here with heels and I'm like, I can't, I'm like, nah, man, like, I need to know how to move with heels. And I used to be home just literally doing like sweeps, doing my kicks and finding out
Ooh.
like ways, yeah, in heels. It was crazy. I and I mean, it worked. It was nothing that I was thinking for stunts because I was way before I was even in stunts.
Yeah.
I just thought because I was like, yo, you just never know what can happen. And if I'm in heels and I need to fight, I don't need to do this whole let me take off my heels. It's like, no, let's go for it.
That's actually really fun. It
Yeah.
makes me think of maybe like doing a really fun choreo, not just like the kicking and punching and moving in it, but using it as a weapon in different kinds of ways and then putting it back
Yeah.
on that make a really fun scene. Now I got
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because you use what you have sometimes. Absolutely. And living in New York, man, like especially where lived in New York and Harlem, man, you gotta get creative. You just never know what will happen. Yeah.
I like
Mm-hmm.
always just wore my confidence. I like lived in Bushwick, and I was always there. I remember it was like the prostitutes in the corner with the little Motorola chirp chirps and
Oh
stuff,
my
and then
God.
the one guy that always like manages the street. Where you been the last
Yeah.
2 days? Haven't seen you around.
I was like, don't worry
I'm like
about it. Are you?
just like
Yeah.
just my
No.
my mean face. Just,
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, no, some people have a great, like, like that face. I don't know if I have it. That's why I had to like rely on, like, dude, I don't know, like,
it's like
because
stuff
some
like
people
that.
are
I
very
gotta
good.
always like at my natural just thinking or just like in the moment face. I have a very resting bitch face. So people used to always
Hmm.
think I'm really unapproachable. So that's when I go places, I have to really actively like show that I'm a like does
Yeah.
smiling come naturally to me? Yeah, but when I'm somewhere
Mhm.
and I'm thinking to be like, there's been this trend on TikTok where people just like push people that have resting bitch face to go like from, and then just like
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's interesting that you say that. My brother's like that. I had to take a picture. I was so lucky to have been able to grab that picture because he's always everybody's like, dude, like your brother's so unapproachable, like, and I'm like, really? First of all, my brother, he's very like he's a goofball. Like he is a funny guy. And like you said, like you approach him and you just get to talk and he's smiling or whatever. And I was like, I don't know. And he always asks, like, what is it about me that people don't are always saying like they're intimidated to come? And we were doing some wire stuff, and he was just there. He was standing, he was looking, and I know that he was just thinking, like he was looking how the things is gonna work and what the choreo. And you see him standing looking like that, and his resting face, like I took that picture and I was like, there it is. I'm like, and I go ahead and I zoom in. I tell him like, this is why people don't want to talk to you. He's like, oh my God. He's like, dude, I was like, no, I was actually thinking. I'm like, I'm looking at the wire and just kind of making sure that things are going right. Like, he's in his head. I was like, well, change your face.
yeah.
Think prettier or something.
It just doesn't work. It's either gonna be serious face or then you get this
Yeah,
full smile. You just gotta pick whichever one.
that's true. It's like, whatever. It's like, oh man, that's just guys your face. It's like, that's great. Yes, but you end up meeting the best people when when you think it's like, oh my gosh, she's probably really mean. When I was working here in one of the other jobs in Moana, there was this young lady, like you can tell, like she had a face like you don't want to mess around with her. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure she's freaking amazing because her other friend, we were really cool. And I was like, but it was her friend. I was like, I'm pretty sure your friend is freaking like the sweetest girl ever. And she ended up to be the sweetest girl freaking ever. I was like, I knew it. It's just, they just have that, chill face, like that face that is like, oh.
It's just too many of us, unfortunately, out there. That little like thing here in the middle, that little serious bro. I just a friend of mine, she was saying, she's like, yeah, like she started doing Botox. I was like, no, no, I'm not messing with that. I'd just rather every once in a while just look up and just like massage it a
Yeah,
little bit.
I know, like,
That little brow over here, my serious brow.
yeah, she's like my serious brow. I know, right? It's like, oh, let's see, let's relax the brow, relax.
Relax, no fight or flight, just relax.
Yeah, you are okay.
It is safe.
Yeah, right. You're safe.
Oh, well, are
Yes.
you gonna be in Atlanta for a little bit? Are you plans? Are you going out of town or
As of right now, no, I'm here in Atlanta. Yeah, yeah, until I get the call. Yeah.
sweet? Yeah, I don't
Mm-hmm.
come to Atlanta very often for a lot of things. There used to be like a voiceover convention a couple of times that I like went there, but I'm gonna
Mm.
find a reason because it'll be so nice. Or maybe
Yeah.
one day I'll come back to the refresher. I tried to do the Bobby or refresher once, and I think they didn't
Mhm.
really have a date for people to come for refreshers.
Ah, okay, okay.
So
Yeah.
I need to get
Yeah.
into the car. Every time I drive my car, I'm always like, look, and then things, and I'm going through the motion, but it's not the same.
No, it's not the same. Yeah. No. When I'm doing regular driving, I let my car drive. I have a test. I'm like, nope. I ding dong, and I hit that button and I let that car drive. I'm like, no, I'm not doing regular driving. I'm
I love
done
that
with
you're like the
regular
Tesla
driving.
girly. I when you on Christmas you had the little like Santas on there, and when I went to
Ah,
rent my Tesla in LA, I was like, "Can I put the Santa on?" They're like, "No, we don't have that on ours." I was like,
boring. Like,
"Oh, it's so
come on,
boring."
guys. It's freaking like the holidays. Yeah, no, especially on long roads, like, oh, it's amazing. You put that thing, and it drives. Like I barely drive out here. Like I sometimes drive and then like I'm done driving.
But
Or like
even
when
just
coming
like
off
that,
of
like
set.
not self-driving, it's like even fun. Like I'm gonna be in LA not this weekend, the next one, and I'm already excited because obviously I
Nice.
already reserved my Tesla. Always a Tesla, especially now that the gas
Nice.
prices are a little high. I'm extra happy I got my Tesla.
Yes, I know. Yeah, no, the gas prices I see, I just hear people, I was like, I don't know. The charging for me is free. I don't know.
I know that's why I always say, even when
Yeah.
my Tesla is like 20, $30 more as your intermediate gas car, the gas,
Hmm.
even when I buy it at the supercharge at the worst hours, it's still way cheaper than
It's
filling
still,
it.
oh yeah, completely way cheaper. Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. No, I love it. I didn't think I was gonna love this car so much. I was like, oh my God.
I didn't think it
Especially to
either. Yeah.
me. No, it's just it's amazing, especially to me, like when I'm done with work. Um, when I was out from set the other day and it was late and I mean when you work 12-hour days and you're on the whole time, the last thing I want to do is to pay attention to a just straight road. I'm like,
Straight
oh my
road.
God. And I put that thing and it took me straight home. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
I can't even imagine
You
the
know?
self-driving one. Just like it's already nice when they don't let you go over the line, like like I've been in
Yeah.
other cars like that, but self-driving,
Hmm.
especially, well, yeah, because tunnel vision when you're tired and going a straight
Oh
road.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially, it's just straight road, straight. I mean, what they've done with the Teslas are is amazing. Like that car drives crazy. Definitely is not to its 100%. I don't think it is, but it's extremely close for it to be in there because it does amazing things. Yeah, like I said, I start my car, I put where I'm going, and I start driving, and that thing just takes me to where I'm going, and that's
Oh,
it.
nice. One day I'm gonna have to like try one of those too, but
Yeah, yeah.
that'll be the next one.
Yeah, like if you're down here one time, you just let me know and be like, come now. I won't drive, Tesla will drive. I'll be like, where do you want to go? Tesla would be driving.
No more open container rules soon because you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm not driving. Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
well, a very fun note to end on, especially if
Yes.
you have not driven a Tesla. I can only say if they didn't have a deal the very first time I went, I would have not tried it because I was like, oh, that's probably not. But driving
Yeah.
it, it's great. Now you hear
So
the
cool.
self-driving one, the one that picks you up when you're at the store. It just comes out of the parking
Oh,
lot
I
and
summon my car all the time. Absolutely.
pick me up right now.
Pick me up. I don't feel like going away over there. I have too many bags. Nope. Yep. Oh yeah.
A little bit of pampering. We all deserve it every once in a
Oh,
while.
absolutely. Absolutely. I don't do much pampering, but if I get to have my Tesla that picks me up, why not? It opens the door. I'm like, this is amazing. This is great.
Feel very
Yeah,
special. Well,
exactly.
thank you for hopping on a weekday in the evening that you're back home and you took the time to share a little bit about yourself and what you
No.
do and what's maybe a little bit different about how you do things and being a mom, being from Atlanta, being in two markets, and having a brother
Mhm.
who was the power, just the craziest thing ever.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it was nice to have you. And
No,
I hope to
thank
see
you
you in
for
person.
having me. Yeah,
And everybody else,
absolutely.
see you in the next episode.
Bye.